Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Ride Life podcast. This episode is sponsored by Matt from Burnt Up Wood Burning, who specializes in making custom wood plaques. Check him out on Instagram at Burnt Up Wood Burning and go find that last piece you need to finish up the man cave or perfect your garage. Nothing better than a one-of-a-kind specialty.
And you'll be supporting a local motorcycle rider and a local business. Also, go give the Ride Life podcast, the Ride Life Brian, and the Ride Life Jim a follow on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube at the Ride Life Podcast. Thanks for all your support and enjoy this new episode.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back to the Ride Life podcast. And we're back tonight. We don't have a guest. No guest tonight, just Jim and I talking real talk, right? Tonight, Jim? So what's up?
Yeah, it's real talk. So I was listening. I was thinking about this today. I was like, we kind of did this a little bit backwards, right? So I just got back from Vegas. You got back from Daytona. But Todd had hit you up and had said that he wanted to come on when we got done. So we really kind of were like, out from you being back from Daytona, and we haven't really talked about it. So we touched on it with Todd a little bit. So tonight, I say we get into your Daytona trip, and then we'll talk a little bit about Vegas and how that went, and we'll go from there, man.
All right, yeah, I like it. I mean, Daytona is still fresh in my mind, so I can remember everything. So
I'm glad you can. Hey, listen, the best part about that whole trip for me was the video that you put up the morning you were leaving, and it's just snowing. The snow's coming down. You're like, Brian, why don't you ride to Daytona?
oh yeah,
So that was Thursday morning?
yeah. So I left Thursday morning. Yeah, of course it's snowing. I left Thursday morning. I only drove to Edwin's house. So
Yeah.
a couple hours, rode over there, and then we loaded up his bike. We had some pizza, and then we left early Friday morning, which was perfect. We left Friday morning, and we made it to Florence, South Carolina. No issues. Made it to the Hampton Inn, and I think we got there about 6 o'clock at night, 6, 7 o'clock at night. Had some dinner at Jersey Mike's,
Okay.
and then got a good night's sleep. So when we woke up Saturday morning, we were only 6 hours away from Daytona. So
It's crazy because like South Carolina feels like it would be like halfway, but it's really not. It's a lot. It's a chunk more than halfway.
yeah, well, once we get into those states, those bigger states, we go through Mass, Rhode Island, Delaware, and Maryland. Through those states, no problem. Then we hit the big states, and we're like, oh my god.
Yeah, you hit like a little corner in New York, and then the rest of it is just a long trip from there.
Yeah,
So, how is Florence? Is Florence like a city? Is that like a hole in the wall?
it's tough to tell because it's right off of 95. So
Okay.
the exit we had, there was a bunch of stuff. So there was a bunch of restaurants, but I don't know if you get a mile out on each side of the highway if it's just woods or what it is. So I don't really know.
Yeah, but it's busy enough off the highway to get sleep, get food, and
Yeah, and then Florence is a huge Buc-ee's in Florence, so that was kind of cool.
get yourself a little pulled pork.
Oh, dude, we went to a Buc-ee's. I think we were on our way down there. It was so crowded. I went to the bathroom and came out. It was insane. I couldn't believe how many people were in there.
So you got down to Daytona on Saturday about what, like a little afternoon time, 1 o'clock?
Yeah, exactly. 1 o'clock. We met up with Todd. I had met up with Brian on the way down there. We stopped at Waffle House. And
Nice.
then we continued down.
Hit all the favorites on the way down. The
Yeah.
Buc-ee's, the Waffle House. That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my short on YouTube at the Ride Life Podcast YouTube channel where I talk about the Waffle House, and then 3 hours later was a situation. So go check
It's
out
always it's always a situation.
the
That's the best part. The situation. Yeah, listen, we've been there. Good thing you're a truck driver. You're used to holding it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So what did you do? What did you do Saturday night? Because like you checked into the hotel or whatever. You couldn't have been that bad after 6 hours. You must have been kind of ready to go.
Oh yeah, we were very. We Saturday. Let's see. Saturday we unload the bikes. Well, it's tough because where we stay at the Wyndham, so we can't really park the truck at the hotel. So we gotta get all the bags to the hotel, then get the bikes over from the storage unit, So it's a little bit of a process, but it's a good place to stay. So I think Saturday night I just went for a ride. It was nice out, so I just was on the bike cruising. There was not really any shows going on. I was supposed to go to Supercross, but something happened. I couldn't. I think the Waffle House hit me hard, and I couldn't go to Supercross. So Sunday is when it really started. So I woke up Sunday morning. We went to the Proper Baggers show over at Teddy Morse's
Okay.
Destination Daytona, and like Daytona's like you go to one show and you pretty much see all the bikes that you're gonna see at every show, but you still go to every show.
So, but really, like Monday was kind of the day, right? That's the day you went to the Hangover show. You hung out with Drew from Rolling Throttle. Dr. Harley, you saw him over there too that day, right?
Yep, saw Dr. Harley, but I didn't go to the Performance Hangover show. So
Oh,
I
you
must,
did? I thought you did.
oh, that's what I did. Saturday, I went and hung out with Drew at his shop. Diamond Engineering is right next door, and Doug F Performance Speed Shop is right there. So they're all like kind of in the same shop. So we I hung out there all night, just shooting the shit with Drew. You know, I finally got to meet him in person. That was cool. And then that Saturday night, he's like, tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to the stunt lot. I'm like, I'm in. I'm in. So Brendan was flying in. Brendan flew in Saturday night. So I met him Sunday morning. We met at the over at Destination again. We went and had some barbecue. Next year when you come, the barbecue at Colt's Pig Stand Barbecue right in front of Destination, it's always good. It never disappoints. So we had some barbecue, checked out the show, and then we headed off to the stunt lot, which was great because Brendan was in town to do a photo shoot of a stunt show at the Performance Hangover show. So he was able to get some practice in. He was in his own world. He was in the middle of because the stunt lot was just, a big circle. So he's in the middle of the circle, taking pictures, doing videos, doing his thing.
But I saw you. There was a lot of Brian wheeling and Brian burnouts, which was pretty cool. Yeah, Brendan put out some really cool stuff. Like, and that's the stuff that we saw that I saw that he put out like quickly. I bet you he's got a lot of other stuff that like he's got to edit out, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the YouTube drop he puts up because he's got that 360 camera, and we were cruising down
Yeah,
the highway, and he was taking some cool videos of me on my FXR, and so I'm looking forward to that video.
that's cool. So what happened? You didn't do the Hangover show on Monday.
Well, what happened was, so we did the stunt show, the stunt lot, and I figured out real fast I had the wrong rear tire. I got a Shinko 777, and that's good for wheelies, so I did a lot of wheelies, but it's not good for drifting.
Yeah, those are known to be sticky.
Exactly. So I got to get a Shinko 999, and that'll
All right.
be a little better for drifting. So,
Because that's what I have. That's what I have for the Street Glide is the 777s. So
oh, yep.
yeah, because they're supposed to handle like really good. But I won't be wheeling or drifting the Street Glide. I mean, maybe if it was a road glide, I'd consider it, but I don't think the Street Glide is going to feel too good with that front fairing up in the air.
Oh, come on, don't be a wimp. I told so Doug, he's a good rider. He does some drifting, does really good drifting, wheelies. He's a stunt rider. I told him, I said, next year during Daytona, you got to put on a drift class at the stunt lot. I bet you get 10, 15 people out there, throw them some cash, and sign some waivers, and because he's a good teacher. So
Nice.
maybe we could do that for you.
You have to bring your Dyna and your FXR. Which one can I crash?
Neither.
I mean, you're getting offers on that TLFXR already. So
The Tiffany blue.
The Tiffany blue. It is kind of Tiffany blue. Still reminds me of the Miami Dolphins, but it doesn't have the orange wheels now. So
Tiffany blue. Yeah. Thanks, Josh. That's good.
So Monday. So what did you end up doing all day on Monday? Just you went back to the stun lot all day, or
No, that was on Sunday. So Monday was supposed to be the Performance Hangover show in Orlando. And I just kind of slept in a little bit. The thing was, the FXR meetup was at 3:00 that day. So I kind of wanted to just,
Yeah.
I didn't want to ride out to the Hangover show and only be able to stay there for like an hour and then ride back. I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world now that I say it out loud. But So we just hung out around town, cruised around, probably rode the loop a little bit, and then we went over to the FXR meetup, which was pretty cool because
Okay.
it was at the River Grill. They have great food, so I was able to check out some cool FXRs and eat some good food. And I got to see, you know, who my machinist is.
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, so yeah, he builds FXRs. He's got a crazy FXR that he built for the FXR tour. I think the very first one. So I got to see that in person, and then Wheelo Skilo got to see his FXR, which is really clean, OG paint FXR, and he does some good videos. He's on YouTube. He's just a really cool dude. I didn't get to talk to him. He was talking to everybody else. I didn't want to interrupt him, but he was there doing his thing. Who else was there? My buddy Marcus from New York, who supposedly has a blue frame FXR. I just have never seen him riding it. I've never seen it.
It's probably broken down.
No, and you know it's funny because I was busting his balls. I said, Marcus, I've never seen this bike. I don't really not believe in it. I mean, your wife is a photographer, so she's probably, you know, take some pictures, Photoshop them in, and then she goes like this. She goes, well, do you know what Marcus does for a living? I go, no, what? He does photo touch ups for big companies. I'm like, oh, he does. That's ironic. So that was pretty funny, busting his balls. But yeah, the FXR meetup was good, but I think they had maybe close to 30 FXRs, some really clean FXRs. Got some good ideas and talked to some cool people. Had some good food, and then we were out. And then
So what did Edwin bring down?
he brought down the 1975 Shovelhead.
All right, the shovelhead. What did Todd bring?
Todd brought his 23 Ultra
The
couch.
Ultra. Because it was supposed to be the year of the shovelhead.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, my shovel was ready. I could have brought it, but I wanted to do some riding. I wanted to do some wheelies and stuff. So,
Yep.
but
How
Edwin,
much riding is Todd doing to bring that, you know what I mean, to bring that Ultra down there? I mean, is he doing a ton?
yeah, I mean, he went to St. Augustine one day. He
Okay.
went, yeah, he did. So he did a little bit of riding. You know, probably not enough to justify, but his back isn't the greatest, so it helped out his back, and he carried my sweatshirts and all the parts I bought at the flea
Nice.
market. So
Nice. Because that's what I mean, I got the Street Glide. That's all I got. So that's what will be coming.
yeah, yeah, bring it.
So, but like like in my mind that I would want to do a ton of riding just because it's so nice for it to be warm. But there's so much stuff going on that involves not riding. It involves watching other people ride or shows or whatever, you know?
Yeah, Daytona is definitely different. It was really different this year because usually I do the touristy things and you know all that stuff, and but this year I got to meet up with Drew, and so I hung out at his. You know, he set up at all the shows, and I was able to hang out with him, park right next to him, and it was a different experience this year. It was like hanging out with the locals, you know.
Yep. Hey, did he give you the, like, because he said he was going to give you kind of the backstage tour?
Oh yeah, yep. Got the backstage tour of the shop. So he's like half owners of the shop down there. So I got to check out the dyno room. They got powder coating. Then they got it all. So 1F Performance down in I think it's Holly Hill, Florida. So if you're in that area, go check out Doug. He makes some cool parts for the M8, some tappet blocks, and get you set up with whatever you need.
So what'd you do that night? Did you do anything that night or did you just kind of kick around?
Yeah, mostly the nighttime. Just walk down to Main Street a little bit. 'Cause where we stayed, we're really close to Main Street. So I think it might have been that night where I was riding. Edwin pulls up next to me and is like, dude, your taillight's hanging off. Like, great. So I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, but I posted a picture of I used up some Ride Life podcast stickers to
Yeah, the sticker. I saw the sticker on the side to hold it up.
hang
Hey,
it back
before
up.
I forget, how did the Brendan do in the photo shoot?
I don't think he didn't place, but he took some cool photos. He showed me some pictures that he took, and he took some pretty badass pictures. But he was there for the experience. That was his first time doing something like
Yeah.
that, so he got some good experience.
Yeah, there was a lot of probably a lot of really heavy hitters that are like that's what they do for a living, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I don't see the photos, but I saw the first place and the second place winners, and their photos weren't really. I mean, one of them was like an overall, like a view. It almost looked like a drone view of the
Oh,
event.
okay.
So I don't know, but it was pretty fun. It was a good week. Daytona is Daytona. This year, I wasn't like I need to get home. I was kind of just content because Wednesday. Let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, we went to the tropical tattoo show, the chopper show, the old school chopper show. Saw some cool shovel heads. And then, Daytona is about going to the show, grabbing some food, riding the loop. I rode the loop a bunch of times, get my picture taken. And then the big night was Friday. Friday night was the big night. That's what I was looking forward to the whole week.
So you did Thursday, or was it Friday? You met up with Danny and her husband down there.
Yep, that was Friday. Yep, that was Friday. So
All right.
I met up with they came in Thursday afternoon. So I met them up Friday morning. So apparently they were at the Beaver Bar on Thursday night, and her husband set up an appointment, an audio appointment, to get a stereo and speakers installed on his bike Friday morning at 10 a.m.
Wow.
So we show up there at 10 a.m. I meet him there, and that dude is nowhere to be found. He must have partied a little too hard, right?
He made the right decision.
So yeah, so it was like 10:30. I'm like, dude, this guy ain't coming. Let's just go to destination, and they got plenty of audio guys there. So we did that, and first audio person he saw, he walked up to and got right in. So
Nice.
he was able to get new speakers, new amp. Yeah, it sounds good. I'm not
It
an
is
audio guy.
cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like big into like the performance audio. Like I don't need it to rattle everybody's windshields, but definitely the stock audio that was on the bike at highway speeds you could barely hear it. So I did an amp and just the two front speakers for myself, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, same. So we
But
were at on Wednesday night, Woodlawn Baggers. They got this performance bagger show at Razzles, which is what do you think Razzles is?
sounds like a strip club.
Yeah, it's a strip club. So it was pretty funny though because we walked down there from our hotel room. It's right there, and all the performance baggers are in, and all these dudes were rolling up in their big wheel baggers and stereo systems. They were all making the turn to go into the show, and then you see them turn away and drive off because they were, nope, you're not a performance bagger, you can't come in. So
Good. I
yeah,
mean, you got to have it. Listen, it is what it is. That's not my cup of tea, like the big wheel baggers with the, 10 mega thousand watt stereo systems and all that. It's not for me. Like, it's not my style, but it's a style. It's a thing.
yeah. Oh, dude, this kid rolled in on. So I don't know if you've seen the new, the new style. The tour pack is pretty much two 12-inch subwoofers and probably full of amps. So this kid pulls in on this thing. It has to be 14 feet long. He pulls in, and they let him pull in because they got this 360 camera where they take a picture of everybody that comes into the show.
Yeah.
So he pulled into that little area, and I kid you not, I could hear his stereo. Oh, they had a DJ playing loud music. I could hear this kid's bass over the DJ booth. So everybody crowds around him, and he's got like a mask on. He's like the whole character. So he's got a mask on. He jumps off the bike, and he's playing IMCA, and he's doing the whole thing, jumping on his bike, like doing the whole thing, like putting on a show. It was pretty funny.
Absolutely living his best life. That's for sure.
Oh, he was awesome. And then, nope, you had to back him out because he wasn't allowed in the show. But it was pretty cool to see it, and that thing hit pretty hard. And that's when
Now, oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that's when Edwin's like, I want to see an audio competition because I've never been to one. I could always care less about that stuff, but after hearing that, I'm like, I kind of want to hear some more.
I mean, it's a thing. It's a niche thing. But something else wasn't allowed on Main Street this year.
Oh my dude, that was the best thing ever. Apparently, I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened. I guess the New Orleans thing happened. But usually for Bike Week, only on the weekends it's motorcycles only. But this year it was 7 days, the whole time it was motorcycles only down Main Street, and they had these big barricades. and cones set up, so you couldn't even get by with a car. And no slingshots were allowed on Main Street. And you could bring a trike, but you barely fit through the cones with the trike, so you got to be careful. But yeah, so you ever watch that cycle drag?
No, I don't think I've seen it.
He's on YouTube. He goes to all the big shows, but it was funny. He goes over to a guy in a slingshot, and he's just like, "So no slingshots on Main Street. How do you feel about that?" The guy in the slingshot's like, "I don't care. It doesn't bother me." Yeah, right. It was great.
There's a place around the corner for me that has a couple of them for sale. They're out front, and every once in a while there's a guy that comes by. So I was showing my kid, and I was like, technically that's a motorcycle, and he's like, that's not a motorcycle. He's like, that's a car. Like, the kid's 11. He's like, that's a car. It's a car.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know.
if you have a slingshot, as long as you say it's a car, that's fine. If you try to tell me it's a motorcycle and you're wearing a Harley Davidson jacket, rolling around in your slingshot, I got a problem.
I've never driven in one. I've never sat in one. I've never really even been close enough to like touch one. But like, bet it's kind of fun. It's just, again, it's like its own thing.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what a T-Rex is? You ever seen the T-Rex?
I have the T-Rexes. It's like similar, right?
Yeah, they're a little cooler looking, and I want to say they put Hayabusa motors in them.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're pretty cool. But I didn't see. I saw maybe a few of those, and they weren't allowed on Main Street either. But
Yeah. But it's just kind of like, it's okay. Like, it's its own thing. It's not a bike. It's probably belongs at a car show, if anything. And I'm sure, like, if you had unlimited funds and you wanted to buy one, you would probably have fun riding around in it.
yeah,
It's
I
just
mean,
not a motorcycle.
yeah, hey, whatever. Not everybody likes FXRs, so that's what makes
Right.
the world go round.
Yeah. Not everybody has good taste either. I mean, look at
And
all the
so
people that don't like Dynas.
there's people that don't like Dynas.
Yeah. There's at least a couple.
Come on. Let's see. One of the days I went to the market. The swap meet. That was a good time. This swap meet's giant, so I walked around. I had a few things in mind that I needed. So my Road Glide, it has this LED light up cap, right? It tells you the temperature. Well, it used to tell you the
Oh,
temperature.
okay.
It doesn't work anymore. And I've been looking on eBay for one of those, just a stock dipstick for my '07 Road Glide forever. And they never show up. If they do, they're like $55 for some weird reason. I happened to find one on this guy's $5 table. I can't believe I just found this for $5. I bought that,
Right.
and then I was on the hunt for an engine guard for the FXR. So I found one of those for $100. It was funny because I was talking to the guy. I'm like, so this is. I knew what it looked like. I'm like, that's for an FXR, right? And he said, yep, yep. He's like, it's not my stuff, it's my buddy's stuff. I said, oh, really? So who's your buddy? He goes, oh, it's Oliver. You might know him. Oh, like, Oliver, yeah, the cut rate. So I'm like, yeah, I know him. He's always selling FXR parts. But now I know it's legit. I know it's an FXR part, the real deal. So it was cool to buy something off Oliver, even though he wasn't there.
So you said Friday night. Friday night was the night you were looking forward to the whole week.
Yeah, Friday night's the drags. Friday night, the drifter drags, they call it. Where that was a good time. So it started at 7. I wanted to get there early. I got there probably about 6:45. Place was already jammed up. They had practice session. So what it is it's a track on each side. So you're going head to head, and you're going around a barrel, going to the next one, around, come across to another barrel. You're going around barrels, then you come around the finish line. So it's like a 21-second track, and it was pretty cool. It got pretty heated. There was one race where I think it was Jesse Ryan Tattoo went against this other guy 3 times because they couldn't figure out who won. They both crossed the finish line at like the exact same time. So
Photo finish, baby. Photo finish.
yeah, it was a good time, and I got to be VIP just because hanging out with Drew. So VIP, I was right on the field, right on the lot actually. Me and Dr. Harley and Big E. Also, I got to meet Big E finally too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know what's funny? So, man, I say so a lot, don't I? Right before I went to Daytona, I was looking at buying a freak mount. You know what those are?
For the like to mount like a camera or your phone or whatever.
Yeah, it's a foam mount. It's a magnetic foam mount. I
Yep.
had used one before. My buddy Bob had one, and I used it in New York one time. And we went through to get to Indian Larry, and going through New York, and my phone stayed right there. So I was thinking, I need one of those for Daytona because I hate that big thing that hangs off my handlebars.
Yep.
So I was looking at freak mounts. They're like $59, $60, nothing crazy, but I never ended up getting one. So I meet up with Big E, and he's got like five of them sticking to his gas tank. I'm like, why do you got so many of those freak mounts? It's like, I'm giving away. If you can do a wheelie, I'll give you one. I'm like, done deal. So that's my. So
How
that's my.
good of a wheelie did you have to do? I mean, I
That's
could probably get the front wheel off the ground for
no,
60 bucks.
that wouldn't work. I posted the video. Come on, you got to watch.
No, I did. No, I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, no,
It
it was
said
pretty.
it said do a wheelie for a freak mount.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny. And he's remember when we interviewed him? He had those glasses on that record.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Ray-Bans, the Meta.
Yeah. So I totally forgot. So he had those on, and I did a couple wheelies next to him. And I'm like, I look over. I'm like, are you gonna record this? He's like, I am. I'm like, oh, I totally forgot you had those
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah, though that was like the big. Remember the Super Bowl commercial? I don't know if you watch it, but that's the one where the guy eats the banana off the wall, the $1 million banana off the wall. That's what those
Oh,
are.
okay, all right. I didn't.
Yeah.
So that was another cool thing. So I got myself a freak mount and got to meet Big E. Big E he's a cool dude, big personality, and in real life he's a big dude, and he's just fun to hang out with. We hung out with him a couple nights. And who else? Who else did I meet? Danny, her husband, Brendan. Well, Dr. Harley, Drew, Drew's wife Crystal. She finally came in on Thursday. She rode from Tennessee to Daytona, so she rode like nine
Nice.
hours straight. She said,
Well, she said she rides pretty hard, so maybe it was like 7.5.
"Yeah, she was cruising. She was definitely cruising." She said, "What else? Good food. Don't ever eat at Dustin's. Had bad experience at Dustin's barbecue down there this year."
So I was super excited because you texted me. Dr. Harley had a Sawicki speed pipe put on his. What did he have it put on?
I believe it's a 2021 Road Glide,
Okay.
and dude, that thing sounded sick.
So did he get the mid length? Did he get the full length?
He got the full length,
He got the full length. Okay.
and he got the Thunder Max tuner,
All right.
and they installed it all right there. Drew did all the tuning, and yeah, that thing sounded sick. It sounded good. It really sounded good.
How about like were you able to get up like close and personal with the pipe? Because like to me, I've only ever seen them online. Everybody who has one says they're great. They look like they're built like really well, like high quality.
Yeah, it was a good looking pipe. It reminds me of a Thunderheader. The way the muffler is, it's a good looking pipe. That's the
Yeah.
definitely the way you got to go. So get in touch with Drew at rollingthrottle.com and get yourself a Sawicki.
What did he get for the what did he get for the tip? Because they have a whole bunch of different tip options.
That's
Is
a
it
good
raw
question.
all the way through, or did he get like they have like a carbon, they have a black tip? I
But
think they have
no,
a polished tip too.
he just got the raw one. So
The raw all the way through, which I think is probably like the best look.
would you get the full length or would you get the mid length? Do you think?
I kind of am leaning towards the mid length.
Yeah, I mean the full length looked cool, and so Tweedle had, I believe his is the mid length, and that thing sounded good too. So
Yeah, I just kind of like it a little bit shorter. I don't like it hanging out the backside of the bag on the because when you go with the two into the one, it looks a little weird to me having the one pipe sticking out beyond the bag. But it's a visual thing
yeah,
more than like oh it performs a certain way.
yeah. So I think the mid length, and are you gonna do a Thunder Max tuner at the same time, or are you just gonna?
More than likely, yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I'm gonna be into it. That's why I haven't got it yet because it's gonna cost a couple of pennies.
yeah, it is, but it's gonna be worth it. It was a big difference for him.
So well, they all are kind of like this, but the Thunder Max tuner there's a lot of like downloads for it and stuff like that. So it won't be dialed in like if you dyno it or you have someone who's hooking it up to a computer. It won't be as precise, but they're pretty easy to do, like do it yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have it installed if Drew does it, he'll tune it right then and there. So he'll break out the
Yeah.
computer and He'll do his adjustments and he'll take it for a couple rips and it'll be pretty much set after that.
Yeah, well, unless I'm going to Tennessee or Montana, or yeah, I think he said he's not going to be in Laconia.
No, no. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll
So,
see him somewhere in Tennessee probably again.
but that was cool. That was cool to get that report. We should really like set something up with some of those guys because like Dr. Harley's not far. Big E's like probably a little bit further, but like Brendan and all them, like when we try to go out to Americade, we should try to incorporate kind of everybody.
Well, I've been working on that behind the scenes. We're gonna meet up with them for sure.
Excuse me.
What was I?
And I'm sure Rhodey would like to get in on that too.
Oh yeah, Rhodey. Yeah, Rhodey will be coming. Corey's
Yeah.
got his bike ripped apart right now, but he's gonna be ready for the season. It's coming. It's close. I rode
Yeah.
I rode the Road Glide on Friday. I rode the Dyna on Friday just to get out, and I put the new shocks on the Road Glide, so that helped.
Yeah, you got some new shocks from Suspension Technologies, right?
Yep. So the ones I had before were supposedly the heavy duty springs, and that was not cutting it for me. It was way too stiff.
Yeah. So when I got home Friday night, I was gonna pull the bike out, but I was dead ass tired, and it was already like 5 o'clock, and I really wasn't gonna go for like a ride, like really anywhere significant. And I kind of just said, I'll wait. It was like 65 ish. It felt, but it was like a warm 65. It was kind of sunny down here and stuff. So I was ready to go, but I was just like, I'm not pulling this whole thing out now and throwing the battery in. And I'm like, by the time I get the battery in and everything else, I won't even be motivated to go for a ride. So
yeah, it was nice. And so my Road Glide, it wasn't getting any love for a while. I robbed I had Thrashing risers, chrome Thrashing Supply risers on it that I robbed and I put on the Dyna. And then I put these other risers on the Road Glide, and I never liked it, so I ordered some more Thrashing Supply risers, and I put those on my Road Glide, and I'm in love with my Road Glide right now.
well, when we go to do some miles like this summer, you're gonna appreciate it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm looking for it. You know, all those performance bagger guys, they say they don't like the music, but maybe I got a little hell yeah brother in me, but I like the music for some reason.
I do too. Listen, I do a lot of riding by myself just because of the way things work out with timing and stuff. And I can like put the music on, go down the road, and like the whole world doesn't exist around me and stuff. You know what I mean? I love it. I'm singing along and like in my head or singing out loud sometimes. Like it is what it is. I don't care if anybody else hears it. I hear it. You know?
Yeah, music moves the soul.
Yeah, man. What I see today, something about when your Harley's broke, you fix it. When you're broke, your Harley fixes you.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
So something like that. Yeah, it comes around.
Yeah. To round off my Daytona trip, so Friday, and we left Saturday morning. And Saturday morning, I had plans on stopping in Aberdeen, Maryland for the night. I know Edwin had to work on Sunday, I believe. So Saturday morning, we left about 6 o'clock, and I drove straight through 19 hours to Edwin's house. We got there, and I was gonna just sleep there for a couple hours, but I told him, I said, I'm wide awake. If I go to sleep now, I'm not gonna want to drive home. So we unloaded his bike, and I took off. And guess what? He left his wallet. He left his jump pack. He left some seatbelt thing. He left like 4 things in my truck. I felt bad. So he had a Sunday morning. He had to drive all the way to my house to pick up his stuff. So I kind of felt.
Yeah, that's not because it's not around the corner.
No.
But it's funny though, like when you're coming back from a trip like that, like all right, it's like okay, it's over. The fun is over. Now I got to get back. You really just want to plow and get home.
Yeah, and I thought I was going to be tired and want to stop, but just we didn't hit any traffic. It was just smooth sailing the whole way. It was great. The weather was great. Didn't rain. And yeah, we just cruised.
Which is nice, like, because it's like, like, all right, the fun's over, back to reality. Like, you just kind of want to, like, if you could, you want to teleport home.
Yeah, well, it used to be like that for many years because I'd always have to go back to work on Monday and I'd be dreading. We used to leave even early. We used to leave maybe on a Friday morning just to get home so we had one day off before we went back to work. But now Edwin had to work, but I didn't, so I wasn't too
That's not your problem.
Yeah.
So listen, we got a little thing going on. We got a little giveaway going on. You posted the reel and the post on Instagram, but fill everybody in, man. What's that all about?
Yeah, so we teamed up with Matt from Burnt Up Wood Burning. Good guy. He lives in Connecticut. He lives close by. He's always riding. I see him. He's always supporting. He supports some other podcasts. And we've been talking for a while. And he reached out. He said, I would like to sponsor some of your episodes. So I said, heck yeah, let's do it. So we kind of worked out a deal. And then he was talking, maybe we could do a giveaway. I said, that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know how many people we're going to get, but I said, he offered up that plaque. And I said, I'll throw in a T-shirt and some stickers, some Ride Life podcast swag, and see where it goes. So I posted up on the page on the Ride Life podcast Instagram, and all you got to do is be following the Ride Life podcast and Burnt Up Wood Burning. They're both linked right there, and just throw a comment, even if you say this is stupid, whatever you say in the comment will get you entered into the giveaway.
And there's a good chance if you win this giveaway, you're gonna have a Ride Life T-shirt before me.
Yes, that's true. That is true. But I was thinking about this today. So, a lot of our friends are commenting and joining in. So so instead of me picking out of the comments, I'm going to write down every single person that commented on that reel, and I'm going to put them in a hat, and my daughter's going to pick them out. So that's the only way I can think to make it as fair as possible.
Yep.
So I'm going to actually write down every single person that commented, put it in a hat, and then I don't know, should we go live on Instagram or what? But that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah, we'll do something fun like that. And Matt's like he's like OG like Ride Life. Like I think he heard like episode 1.
Yeah.
Like when we first put it out. And I've talked to him a bunch. We were supposed to get together and do a ride, me and my wife and him and his wife. And it ended up being like a crummy weekend, and they kind of went off and did their own thing, and we did our own thing. But his work it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really cool. He's an artist, so
Yeah.
he was mentioning that his son. So I know you've talked to his son, so we got to get him on the show. So why don't you? I know this is a little behind the scenes stuff you guys are hearing right now, but why don't you get in touch with Matt's son and try to schedule him for the show?
Yeah, he does some kick ass stuff too. I don't want to. I won't blow the cover, but he does some really kick ass stuff. So between the two of them, man, they're both artists.
Yeah, so
sure.
we're definitely going to meet up with them. And it's another thing, June 21st, the Ride Life podcast barbecue being held at my house. I'd like to fill up my driveway with bikes and just have some drinks, have some hot dogs, some hamburgers. It does, you don't have to stay long. Just come, hang out, do a burnout. That's it. It'll be the last Saturday of Laconia Bike Week.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're in town. Come on over.
And that'll be 7 days before my birthday. If anybody wants to bring gifts, I drink Bud Light, Miller Light.
Only quality pilsners for him.
That's right. Listen, I've been known to suck back a Guinness. I think that's considered a fine beverage.
I had my first Guinness probably a month ago. I had a black and tan for the first time. I've never had Guinness, so I started off with a black and tan, and it was pretty good. I might actually do another one.
So I really like Guinness. So there's a misnomer about Guinness. So everybody sees it and it looks really heavy, and it's not. It's actually, I feel like it's less carbonated and lighter than like a Bud Light. It's also, they're not strong. They're like less than 4% alcohol or they're like 3.8, 3.9. So
it was
they're
surprisingly
delicious.
good. Yeah.
I love them.
So where are we at? We're at like 40 minutes. So I went to Daytona. You went to Vegas. How was the weather there?
Vegas was amazing.
The
weather was amazing.
Okay.
The day we left, it was windy, like crazy windy the day we left. Like you could feel as we were getting on the plane, like going down the runway, you could feel the wind pushing the plane. But other than that, man, it was 75 to 82 every day. It was so warm. I would find myself like going outside when I had a break just to sit there.
When's the last time you flew?
I flew. Actually, it was 2020. Twice. I went to Fort Lauderdale, and then in January, and I went to Houston in like February that year.
I can't even remember the last time I flew. So
I mean, it's kind of a process now. It's, the way, like, you gotta first, you gotta check in, check your bag, then you go through like the first security, then you go through like get in line and go through like the machines and all of that. But most of the airports got it pretty smooth.
yeah,
Like
where'd you out of
we
TFU?
left no, we left out of Boston. So we met at one of my teammates' houses at 5 a.m. He rented a minivan, so the six of us loaded up into a minivan, one way to Boston. Had some beers on the way.
Gross.
Had some 5 a.m. Bud Lights on the way.
Uh,
Set the and then one guy had some Flexerol for the flight if anybody wanted to go to sleep. So we hung out. We hang out in the airport. Right, our flight is 9:50. Our flight was supposed to be 9:50. So we're at Wahlburgers because we're starving now. We're at Wahlburgers and our flight gets delayed. They're like waiting on a catering truck for the flight.
Jesus.
So we didn't end up leaving till almost 11:30 or so for a 9:50 flight, all because of the catering truck. So I guess what happened was they had to switch the planes. There was an issue with the plane, so they had loaded the plane, then they had to unload the plane, and then bring everything over to the new plane and reload it.
That's all
Um,
recording.
yeah, so we had some Wahlburgers, we had some breakfast beers at Wahlburgers too, and then we got to Vegas, and we were so excited when we got off that plane.
Was it
We
nonstop flight or did you
Yeah, nonstop. So we ended up we did good. We made good time. The guy was like, the pilot was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go here, and there's a good air, so we're gonna make up some time." So we left an hour and 45 minutes late, and only arrived an hour late.
okay, cool.
So we made up a little bit of time on the plane. Got out. There was like a livery service, $75 for the six of us. $95. He was going to bring us to the liquor store and the dispensary. So
So you spent
$95.
95 bucks.
Yeah, we spent $95 divided by six, so it's not bad. Get us all over. We all got our booze, and then nobody wanted to go to the dispensary. Then we hit the hotel, man. We got there. We probably got to the hotel 2:30, 3 o'clock. We had the whole day ahead
Where'd
of
you guys
us.
stay?
We stayed at the Rio, which is like not great anymore. They've done a lot of renovations. They've done a lot of updates to it, but it's off strip. It's probably like 3 blocks off strip. But it's fine for what we were there for. It's fine. Um, the thing about Vegas is it's such a weird place. Like, so we go into the liquor store. The guy comes out. We're all buying booze. He buys us a bottle of champagne. We drink it in the parking lot. So like, you're drinking beers in the cars, in the taxi cabs, on the streets. Like, none of that is illegal. Get over to the hotel. Like, and I forget, like, it's smoking everywhere in the hotel. Like, all of the casinos, anywhere there's a slot machine or anything is like full smoking, which is so weird because every place else in the world, there's like no inside smoking anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
So if you're not a smoker or you really hate smoke, Vegas probably isn't for you. And it's huge. Like, it's the hotels are so massive. Like, even the Rio, which is by like Vegas standards on the small side, it's a 10-minute trip at least from my hotel room down, and then walking to the convention center where the actual like pool tournament was.
Huh. Crazy. So let's get right into the pool tournament. So is it 9 ball, 8 ball? What kind of pool tournament are you playing?
So we qualified for 10 ball.
10 ball.
So the whole event is just short of 2 weeks. So other teams from like a team from Woonsocket, Rhode Island qualified for 9 ball. So they were there like early, long gone before we got there. Then there were
Yeah.
2 8 ball teams that qualified. They didn't even start play until they started play on the Sunday before we got there.
Okay.
And they left the Thursday morning when we were already there. And then 10 ball is the last event. And there's singles and doubles and things like that. But as far as the teams, it's 8 ball, 9 ball, and 10 ball. So we qualified for 10 ball. And it's Thursday was the day like the pool started. And it was we had a match at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 9 p.m., and 11 p.m.
Damn.
So we played pool from basically 11 till 2 a.m. That was about the time we finished up. It was about 2 a.m. local time out there.
Jeez. All right, let's fast forward through it. So did you guys place? Do you win any money?
We did not win any money. A bunch of guys won money on minis. We lost in the second round of the money round. So we qualified 15th. We won our first match in the money, and then we lost our second match in the money.
Damn. That would have been nice to win some money for a Sawicki pipe.
First place paid 10 grand for the team.
And then how many people are on your team?
There's 8 people.
So 10 grand. So you would have won like
$1,200 basically.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have quite paid for the pipe, but it would have been a nice thing.
It would have been a big down.
The thing is, so we had Friday off. Like there was nothing on. So we played all day Thursday, had Friday off, and then we had pool on Saturday and left on Sunday. So there's an expo going on down there too. So like there's for guys that don't play pool, like obviously there's custom pool cues, but then there's just like bikes, man. There's different parts you can get from shafts, extensions, wraps, tips, all that stuff. So they got all that stuff to walk around and see while you're there too. And then they have mini tournaments and that.
What does like so you want to get say you want to get a nice pool stick? Like what's your price range for a decent one?
If you're like a casual player, but you want to buy a decent pool cue, anywhere from like $300 to $600 for like a decent pool cue.
They don't call them pool sticks; they call them pool cues.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry. All right. So, what's a real expensive pool cue?
Oh well, they can get stupid. I mean, my playing cue, it was about $1,000, which is still like in the grand scheme of things on the lower side. I mean, you could spend 30 grand if you really want, but like if you want to go like if a Predator is a big brand, if you want to buy a Predator, like a higher end Predator, $2,500.
Jesus, that's an exhaust.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, so at some point you're paying for the quality of the wood too.
Yeah. All right.
You know, it's like that's furniture.
Cool. Yep. Well, that's cool, but you did miss out in Daytona, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this summer when we can actually ride together and go to some events together. Because everybody was like, "Where's Jim? Where's the other guy that does that podcast with you?" I'm like, who? Jim? Yeah. Where is he?
We'll get together. We're gonna make an effort to get together with these guys. I mean, like our next kind of like bigger thing is like that Americade weekend, but we'll be able to get together with more guys like coming up in that. Hopefully next year I'll be in for Daytona. I mean that's the plan.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a lot of weekend rides, hopefully with Rody and Corey, and
yeah,
it's gonna be a good summer. I'm looking forward to it.
We're gonna have to get you down here.
Yeah, I'll get down there. But we already have some guests lined up through April and stuff, so it's gonna be cool podcasting. It's gonna be cool riding. So stay tuned and get in on that giveaway because I wanna have a lot of names in that hat for my daughter to take out.
For sure, and we want somebody to enjoy it because if you haven't seen the post yet, go look up the post. It's a really nice looking piece.
It's a pretty cool. You can put it right in your garage, hang up your Harley keys on it, and it's pretty cool. He does classes, so yeah, go check him out and find all the good stuff. But I don't know, Jim. I'm glad you're back from Vegas. I'm back from Daytona, and now the fun begins. The weather's changing.
Yeah.
So let's get out, go riding, bro.
Yeah, it's time, man. I think we're gonna be riding like pretty regular. It feels like an early spring.
Yeah. Well, did the groundhog see a shadow? I don't even remember now.
No, we were supposed to get 6 more weeks of winter, but
well, that guy lies.
So we got an April Fool's Day storm coming again.
All right, man. Well, I just want to say shout out to Biggie, Danny, her husband, Brendan, Drew, Crystal, all the guys I met in Daytona. You made it worth it this year, and can't wait to meet up with you guys again.
Oh, and Banker on Harley. I
wasn't in Daytona, but
yeah, he sent you some cool swag though.
He did. He sent me some cool stickers, so I got to send him out some stickers. But he's actually on a road trip right now, so I'll have to. I was gonna send him out, but I'm gonna wait until he gets home. I don't want the stickers sitting in his mailbox too long.
No.
Somebody might steal them. They're popular stickers.
Those are high quality. You gave out a ton of stickers. Gave away some free T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, those new stickers that I got suck. I mean, it took me just to fix my taillight with those stickers. Trying to peel them apart took forever. I'm not buying those cheap stickers again.
All right, man. That's it. Let's wrap it.
All right, that's it, man. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, bud.